Welcome back to part 3 of the RX-8 saga.
Seriously, I just had it.
Now that I have the engine out of the car, it's time to remove all of the peripherals from the engine so that I can tear it down and diagnose what is going on internally with the car. In the first couple of videos, I diagnosed the problem. It's missing an apex seal in the front rotor. In the second video, I pulled out the engine, and today we're going to tear this guy down and hopefully find out that there isn't too much catastrophic damage inside the engine. While I have the engine sitting on the ground, I'm going to remove the clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, the exhaust manifold, the upper intake manifold, all of the electronics, fuel lines, all of that stuff so that I can get it down to just a bare keg and then get it on the engine stand so that I can do the rest of the teardown. I've run into one of my first problems while disassembling this motor. The exhaust gas recirculation tube, which comes down from the manifold up to the EGR, one of the 10mm nuts that's holding it on is really on there, and whenever I went to take it off by hand, it kind of spun a little bit. So I'm going to try to use a smaller socket. I'm going to use a standard socket on it to see if I can get it to break loose and come off. If not, I'll have to bust out the extractor bit. Oh, yes. You hear that? That was the sound of victory. Oh, I was so worried about that. Last thing I need is a broken stud on the exhaust manifold. I'd like to take this moment to thank 3/8 6-point socket for being so close to a 10mm. Well, we've reached a critical point in disassembling the motor. We need to get the front bolt out and the rear nut off of the flywheel. They can be really cumbersome to get off. You're probably going to need to heat them up in order to get them off. I've used MAP gas with some success in the past, so that's probably the approach I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try that first, since most people have MAP gas and they don't have, an oxygen acetylene torch lying around. I would also recommend getting a weighted 19mm socket for the front, and you're going to need a big boy, a 54mm for the back. And if you don't have an impact gun, you're going to need a long 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch breaker bar in order to break those loose. As you can see, after heating it for quite some time, I'm still having trouble getting it off. I need to find a way to get a little bit more leverage onto this without putting too much pressure and denting the oil pan and all that other nonsense. So I'm probably gonna have to figure something out as far as a way to get more leverage on here. Last time I put a 2x4 and attached it to the side just to give me a little bit more leverage on it, so I'm probably gonna try that. I think maybe it's time for a cheater bar. They're in there tight. Flip the engine around. You can see I have the flywheel stop tool. I got this from Mazda Tricks. Well worth the investment if you're going to tear apart a rotary and you don't have a really beefy impact gun to get this 54mm nut off. I'm gonna try it without heating it first with a cheater bar, see if I can get it to break loose. I didn't have luck last time I disassembled an REW, but we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, we're going back to heating. I'm gonna have to give this guy a few minutes to cool down. At this point, I think I'm ready to put this guy up on the stand. I made a little bit of a mess getting the engine up on the stand, but that's okay. I'm excited for the next part in the process and tearing this thing down and seeing what's really going on in there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.